Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Here with your daily free picks. All right, guys. So, very busy day today, both for free picks and for Masterclass. I'll get into that in a second. I think is a record for number of picks. But before I get into that, guys, a couple things I want to talk about. First off, okay. Well, you know what? Let's start off with some of the positive yesterday, guys. Ball State. Outright winner. We had them +8. Maybe you guys sprinkled a little bit on the money line. Got the win there. EMU Toledo was an easy loser in that game. And very unfortunate set of circumstances. I know I was chatting with a number of you guys, but if you guys didn't hear, about 3 hours before the game, they announced one of the Kentucky players had passed away, 22 years old, Ben Jordan. Very upsetting. They haven't really released the details as of yet. And look, I mean, if you guys watched the Kentucky game, obviously, you know, you heard some of the stuff that was said, and there's no question, you know, the players were absolutely devastated. I'm surprised, to be honest, they played the game, you know, given the nature of the situation, but ultimately they decided to. My theory would probably be that they probably talked to the Kentucky players, and the Kentucky players all agreed that they wanted to play. I don't think there's any way they play this game if they don't talk to the Kentucky team and at least get their opinion of it. It was pretty obvious watching this Kentucky team. They were not interested in playing basketball, though. And you know what? Who can blame them? You know, as you travel through life, every once in a while, you come across people that really just don't get it. And if you watched that game yesterday, guys, it was sickening to listen to that one announcer rip on this team after they just lost a teammate that they were very close with. And some of the stuff he was saying about, you know, Kentucky's performance and stuff. And the other announcer, if you guys heard, the other announcer, you know, obviously didn't want to talk about the player's death, but alluded to it on a number of occasions, saying that, you know, possibly it could have something to do with this. And this other announcer would just go right back to saying, yeah, but they played so well last week and blah, blah, blah. I mean, what an absolute tool. What a tool. I hope, you know, whoever employs him needs to pull him aside and say, dude, like, what are you talking about? Okay. It's sad. That's the bottom line, guys. But, I mean, I don't know. You could tell the kids didn't want to be there, and I don't blame them. But anyways, guys, took a loss on that game too. There is something I wanted to discuss. Look, I talked about before about, you know, talking about, you know, point shaving in sports and, you know, various different things that might occur. I'm gonna touch on it yesterday or today because we saw something in yesterday's game. I don't know, you know, probably not a lot of you guys watch it. You know, I bounce around through so many different games when I'm watching that it's hard to remember what I'm watching sometimes, but focused in on one and watched it, and I was just blown away. And this is a clear example, so I do want to talk about it. The particular game I'm talking about, not a popular game in terms of like a lot of people going to be watching on TV or anything like that. But it's already being talked about, and it will continue to be talked about just because of the circumstances of how it occurred. That is St. Joseph's and Davidson. So if you guys watched the game, you probably picked up on some of the stuff I picked up on. So here's the situation, okay? There was a 14-point difference. 14-point difference basically right down to the end of the game. I believe there's 30 seconds left on the clock. And they've been basically fouling each other left, right, and center for the better part of the last 5 minutes. But with 30 seconds left, the fouling continued, but that's when it got really, really weird, okay? Now, to give you context of this story, almost 80% of the money on that game was on the under. What made this really, really weird was the players' reaction, okay? So the players at this point, what they're doing is they're fouling each other back and forth, but no one's hitting free throws. They're fouling, but they keep missing all the free throws. So at a certain point, the players start looking at each other and kind of doing like one of these, like, you know, what do we do? So, you know, you could probably tell a player, I'm going to be careful how I word this, but you could probably tell players, you know, we have to put up a lot of points at the end of the game. Maybe hit a certain total or whatever. But you certainly can't really teach kids how to hide the fact of what they're doing if this is happening. So you could see they were kind of physically like distressed, like looking around, like not sure what to do. Should they keep fouling? Should they not keep fouling? And it was actually kind of comical. Not comical. People had money on the game and, potentially lost a bunch of money. But the way that this went down, if you guys have a chance, guys, watch. If you can find this game and you can watch it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And it's blatantly obvious what happened in this game. So now you get down to, it's a 14-point difference in the game. Keep this in mind. 14-point difference in the game. There's 11 seconds left in the game. 12 seconds left, and the team that's up fouls. All right, so he goes to the free throw line. I think he only hits one free throw. And immediately the ball is inbounded. Now at this point, there's 10 seconds left in the game. It's a 14-point difference. The game's over. Two guys rush up and foul this guy immediately. So he basically goes down and he has to take his free throws and misses. And he misses. It's crazy. He did hit one. I believe he hit one. But now still the total is not over. It actually lands right on the total. And so now they inbound the ball, but for sure they run it out, but they don't. They sprint all the way down the court, like full blast, and launch a three-pointer, like just to try to get one at the last minute. Ended up missing, so they didn't end up going over. It ended up actually landing right on the line, which, I guess is the second best thing for Vegas with 80% of money on it. But it was a blatantly obvious attempt to bring a score over. We saw it earlier in the year with one game. And look, here's my thoughts on it, okay? As sports betting becomes legal everywhere and it continues to expand, we're going to see more of this, okay? There's no question about it. We're going to continue to see more of it. The access to people to be able to basically just walk out of their school and walk over to a casino or have friends bet right in their state. It's going to make this a lot easier. Now, here's the ultimate problem, and this has been an argument for years. How do you take a situation where you have a league that doesn't pay their players and expect them not to be on the take? There's going to be situations where there's point shaving, where there's teams running up scores, where there's teams intentionally missing shots, intentionally fouling. And it's sad. Now, at the end of the day, the situation is this as a sports bettor. You're not going to know when and where these situations are going to occur, but, you would hope that you would end on half the good side and half the bad side, of these games. My only advice in these situations is, I don't know. You can't really control. I would say, be on the right side of the game in terms of like betting with Vegas and stuff like that. But if they're kids that are doing it on their own, and I'm not saying that is necessarily the case with St. Joseph's and Davidson, although you guys watch the game and you tell me that's not the case. I mean, I've been watching sports a long time. I understand what happens in some of these games. So, if kids decide that this is something they're going to do, and, they're going to get friends to go bet a bunch of money on, an over or on an under or on, the other team or on their team or whatever, there's certainly, they can certainly influence the game. So look, the reality is, if you're on the side of a game where, a team decides to throw a game, you're going to lose. But you know what? In all likelihood, you're just as likely to be on the other side. So it should come out in the wash. It's just very sad when you see it. And I understand the temptation this year with, people's family out of work and COVID and stuff, that the temptation's there. And, you're not going to see it from, Gonzaga and stuff like that. You're not going to see it because these guys got bright futures in the NBA. But when you have these low-end Division I schools, there's not a lot of likelihood that there's a career after basketball. So that decision comes down to, do I want to play basketball, graduate from school and go out and work, or do I want to, go out, play basketball, graduate from school, and have $150,000 sitting in my bank? So, it's tough. It is tough. And then, what do? Do you decide to pay the players? I mean, the NCAA's got the greatest scam on earth. They got such a marketable product and they don't pay anybody. It's pretty fantastic. But, it's sad for the players, but I don't know. So look, I'll leave it at that, guys. I was reluctant to do this because look, I love sports betting. It's my passion. It's my absolute passion. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything because, again, like I said, you're just as likely to be on the right side of a game that this happens as you are to be on the wrong side of a game. But I don't know. It is unfortunate. It is occurring 100%, regardless what anybody wants to tell you. Guys, you got thousands of players playing in the collegiate level. It's not as rampant in professional sports, but in college, you'd be absolutely naive to think it isn't going on. And you don't see it every day. You certainly don't. I don't see it every week, but every once in a while, a couple times this season, I've seen it. And it's probably going on in games where you just don't notice it because it's little minor things here and there. It's turnovers. It's, just little things you wouldn't notice. But yesterday in the St. Joseph Davidson game, guys, this was a situation where the kids knew they had to do something, and you could see them panicking, not knowing, because they were missing free throws. If they had to hit the free throws, it wouldn't have been as obvious. It really wouldn't have. But they got to a certain point in the game and realized that they were not going to get over this total unless they just went buck wild fouling and going out of their way and then sprinting down the court to try to hit a three-pointer at the very end. It was unfortunately very obvious. So it is what it is. I wanted to point that out because I mentioned last time we were on a game and I did notice that there was some funny business going on, and I said I would do a little video on it. I might go in depth. I can go in depth on another video about how exactly the point shaving works from the mob standpoint. If you guys want to catch a really good video, probably the most accurate video on YouTube, guys, look up Michael Francis. Michael Francis was a captain in New York mob and made a ton of money. And one of his things he used to do was getting athletes to shave points. And he discusses exactly how they do it from start to finish, from the recruitment of the player right down to the point where they own this player. And they made millions of dollars off it. So, even he says it's still rampant in the game. But if you look up Michael Francis sports betting, you'll watch a very, very interesting video. And look, I don't want to, I don't want to say too much negative about sports betting in general because I love it and it's given me an unbelievable life. But obviously, guys, when there's money involved, look at Wall Street. I mean, Wall Street, forget about sports betting. Wall Street, guys, is a million times more corrupt than sports betting. So at the end of the day, guys, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. And you just got to hope that you're on the right side of the fix when it comes in. Do I think sports are fixed? Absolutely not. Do I think games are from time to time? Absolutely. And, one of the questions, last one, and I'll get into it. I know it's a long video, guys. I'll get into the picks soon. The one question I get asked, look, is the NBA, are they still fixing games? Because obviously, look, you saw the Donaghy interviews. If you haven't, guys, watch them. He pretty much just comes out and says it. And my opinion of it would be, probably, yeah, some games, especially playoff games or, big nationally televised games and stuff like that. Yeah, I would think that's probably still going on in the NBA, but is what it is. Look, believe it or not, the way that the NBA is incorporated and set up, it's technically not illegal for them to manipulate the scores in the game, believe it or not. Even with all the hundreds of millions, billions of dollars being wagered on sports, it's not illegal for them to fix a game. It would destroy their brand if it got out. Well, maybe it wouldn't because, look, they've come out and basically lied it. Yeah, here's how I fix games for the NBA. This is what the NBA told me to do. So I did it, and I fixed games for the NBA, and that came out, and no one seemed to care. it didn't affect the league. So maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But anyways, enough of that. Like this is like so much going on between, that poor player passing away, that idiot announcer, this unfortunate event that happened in St. Joseph Davidson. But anyways, look, let's deal with some positive stuff, guys. The positive, we got NHL starting. I'm very excited for that. Brand new NHL season. I got 3 games for you in the NHL. We have a very, very, very busy day. There are lots of college basketball, 3 hockey games. In total, I have 15 picks. And I was even like reluctant. In 15 picks, I'm like, can I seriously give this out of my full card? But full card is a full card. And this is what I'm playing. So I'm giving it out. So I have 15 total plays. I'll tell you what, here's the breakdown, guys. So free picks. I have 5 plays for you guys. I have 10 additional plays in Masterclass. Masterclass, I have a soccer play for tomorrow. And I have a 2-unit play as well in Masterclass. But for you guys, pardon me, I have 3 NHL hockey plays and 2 college basketball plays. So let's get cracking. All right, first off, guys, let's start in hockey. Very excited for the return of the hockey season. I love hockey. I really do. And I'm excited we can have a season and have it back. It's going to be interesting, with the realignment of the division. So the Canadian teams play in Canada, it's going to make for an interesting season. But I think the positive comes out of it, seeing these teams play each other again and again. Not only will it help us, identify certain trends, but it could help us with betting in terms of public biases. If, one team has become dominant over another team, it could help us actually bet, the poorly performing team and get some good odds and some good value. So I look forward to that. But let's get cracking on today, guys. The first one, Montreal and Toronto Maple Leafs. Look, I think the Leafs are going to have a good year this year. I think, their younger players are coming into their own. And that's why it pains me as a big Maple Leaf fan to have to bet against my Leafs in the opening game of the year. I watched the Leaf game every single year since I was a little kid, since I could walk. And I'm going to watch it tomorrow, but I'm not going to enjoy it like I normally would because I have to bet against them. I have to take the Canadians tomorrow, plus 125. Really, really good value. I think early on we're seeing indications of the public being on Toronto in this game. But Montreal is the right play with the value. Getting plus 125 on Montreal, it's hard to pass up. So we're going to take Montreal. Can't believe I'm saying it. Montreal plus 125 to beat my Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow. Next game, guys, Colorado and St. Louis. Colorado, St. Louis. Obviously, 2 good clubs. This is the year, guys. I think, Colorado really comes into their own. If this Colorado team can stay healthy and they have depth in net, which is so important in today's NHL, they have depth in net, 2 fantastic goalies, 2 legitimate number 1 starters, or they could be number 1 starters in Colorado. I think Colorado is going to come out strong early on in the season, and I think this is a team that potentially could be undervalued. Early on in the season. I think when they start to rack up some wins, that's going to change. But I like Colorado to come out and win the first one, guys. Colorado minus 135 over St. Louis. Okay, Colorado minus 135 over St. Louis. Next, guys, we have Vancouver and Edmonton. Okay, so Vancouver and Edmonton, decent rivalry, guys. They always play each other hard. That's the thing. Edmonton, very, very disappointing last season in terms of their performance. I look for them to have a bounce back year. Obviously, very gifted offensive team, and they just really couldn't get it together. If I had a knock against Edmonton, I would say that, I'm not 100% convinced that their even strength play is going to translate any better this year than it did last year. Obviously, with McDavid, Draisaitl, etc., you're going to have an absolute lights out power play. But they are susceptible to giving up goals, even strength. Now, on the flip side of the coin, Vancouver, very much a transition team in terms of their transitioning. They're 1 year further away from the Sedin legacy. You got some young talent that's getting up there. The addition of bringing in Braden Holtby is, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs there. He obviously, he's had a couple off seasons. He used to be like a legit stud in the NHL, but he's had some off seasons. And I'm not completely sold on him as of yet. So the combination of, Holtby coming in there and, it's going to be tough to stop Edmonton. I think Vancouver scores some goals, guys. The first play in this game, we are going to take the over. We're going to take over 6 minus 115. So over 6 minus 115. I just think, look, there's a lot of firepower on both these teams. And again, Holtby certainly capable of giving up 3, 4, 5 goals in a game. And I don't know when you go out of Washington, where Washington, yes, they're an offensive team, but they can certainly play a decent level of defense. And I just don't know how Vancouver is going to play in front of them. So, and I think Vancouver can put the puck in the net. I don't think there's much doubt about that. So that's our play, guys. We're going Vancouver, Edmonton over 115. Hope you guys agree with my hockey plays. If you guys have any hockey plays, that you're thinking, I know we got some real, hockey superstar aficionados here. You can leave in the comment section down below, share your reason why with everybody. All right, couple basketball plays and I'll get this wrapped up. First basketball play, NC State +4. Okay, NC State +4. Shop around, please, guys. There's still quite a number, 4.5s out there. Okay. The problem we're going to run into with college basketball always, guys, especially on giving the plays away with the free picks, is the lines are very susceptible to movement. It's not like betting an NFL game where, we can hammer away our max bankrolls on an NFL game and not touch that line. College basketball is very, very different, guys. It's much more thinly bet and very susceptible to line movement. And we've seen that. I mean, we've seen that a lot. Kentucky, case in point. I mean, Kentucky, where they go from minus 125, I think, up to minus 175. So maybe even higher. I don't know. Might have gone higher. So, lines are very, very susceptible in college. But, there is good opportunities to find stale lines out there at some of these books that are less sharp. The Pinnacles of 5 dimes of the world, you're not going to catch them napping usually. But these other books, stale lines will exist. So anyways, NC State, guys, we are going +4. You can find that line at 4.5, so have a look at 4.5 as well. 3 system indicators on the game and some steam early on NC State. All right, final game for you guys. Northwestern and Ohio State. Northwestern and Ohio State. We are going under 142.5. Under 142.5. Northwestern and Ohio State. That's pretty much it, guys. So again, if you are interested in Masterclass, I have a 2-unit play in Masterclass. Nice 2-unit play. I toyed with the idea of 3 units, but we're not. We're going to go 2 units. It's a high-end 2-unit play. I have a soccer play, and then I have 8 additional basketball plays. So a grand total 15 plays today. So not for the faint of heart, but if you guys are interested, benderwins.com, $99 a month. And you get all my plays every single day, whether there's 4 or 5 or 15. All right. So thank you guys very, very much. My thoughts and prayers go out to that young man's family. Ben Jordan. Apparently he was an amazing baseball player too. And, his whole life in front of him. It's always sad when you hear that stuff in the sporting world. And, I feel for those kids. You could tell they didn't want to be on the court today. And to the Kentucky announcer doing the game, give your head a shake, brother. All right. That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day.